Yes, folks, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. This weekend's grand opening of Parlay Restaurants and Sports, located in Jing'an, Shangkang-li, your new favorite spot for barbecue, burgers, and so much more. Come out to watch all your favorite sporting events. Enjoy brunches weekends starting at 11 on our terrace. Test your skill at darts, pool, and golden tea, an icon bar classic. 9 beers on draft, the freshest barbecue cooked daily, and so much more. This Saturday, starting at 5 p.m., followed by our first brunch Sunday at 11. Parlay, we have you covered from kickoff to last call.
Hello everyone, Craig here. Welcome to another edition of the podcast, Tell Craig Your Story. Today we'll be speaking to Esther Tian. Now Esther is born in China. Now Esther is an author and just released her latest book, which is called The Invisible Summit. Now The Invisible Summit was based on the movie and it stars Zhang Hong. And he was the first blind Asian mountaineer to climb Mt Everest. And she's currently working on her brand new book, which will be all about business. Now, prior to being an author, she was a journalist, and she was able to interview some of the biggest world leaders. And the sponsor of this podcast is Project Reverse, live pro wrestling. Now, we have another 2 free tickets to give away. Again, all you have to do is quote the code, which I'm about to tell you, and you send me a direct message on Wechat, or you can email me at cjmaguire@hotmail.com with this answer: Big Sam. Now, the first person with the correct answer will win the 2 free tickets this Friday night, 31st of May, at the Modern Skylab in Shanghai. But before we go, please go to our website. We're at Podbean. Tell Craig Your Story at podbean.com. We have a link tree there which tells you where Tell Craig Your Story podcast is streaming. We're on all the major streaming services. We also have a YouTube account. Make sure you're subscribing and liking to get all the latest updates at Tell Craig Your Story. All right, here we go. This is my chat with Esther on Tell Craig Your Story podcast. Hi Esther, how are you doing today?
Hey Craig, finally.
Finally, we get to do this. Yes,
Yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
Really long time. I'm terribly sorry for being...
So, we're here. It's the May holidays. So, what are your plans for these holidays?
Well, after this video, I'm going to go to Suzhou.
Oh,
Yeah, visit some friend there.
sensational. Nice. Very nice place. I used
Yeah.
to live there. So, let's talk about your book that was released last year.
Yeah, it's last year. October or something. Yeah.
So, tell us about how that all come about and what were the inspirations about this book? Did you always wanted to write a book?
Well, yeah, I always want to read a book, indeed. But I'll just tell you a story from the beginning. So, one late night, a friend of mine just came to me and said, there was a blind person, who even don't dare to go out before. He finally reached the summit of Mount Everest, and she asked me, "Do you want to write a story about him?" And I was laying on the bed, half awake and half asleep, and I just literally sat up straight and saying, "Yes, of course."
Right.
Yeah, I think I was very excited for being part of writing the story or writing the book. And I even feel like I have been, all the past experience were preparations for it.
Yes.
I used to be a journalist that covering international news in many places. In I like broken places and broken people.
Yes.
So I went to a lot of countries. Did a lot of stories. And also I won the scholarship from the UK government. So I went to the UK. Also did a lot of research on the topic of disability, and even spent quite a long time with looking after the people with disability in Birmingham.
Oh wow.
So this topic is really something I'm really into. Yeah, so basically this is where I started with the book. Yeah.
What was it that drove you to do this sort of disability? What was it about that? Why is this a passion?
Well, I mean, in the first beginning, I would always want to be a journalist. This job just can give me the chance to approach to people that are weird, or we can say diverse. So I think with the people with disabilities also, they have their own uniqueness. We cannot see them as the impaired people, but people with their own characteristics.
Right.
So my attention to the people with disability is basically because I'm really, really curious about different kinds of people. Some personal reasons as well. I have a very close friends or family members, also have some certain impairs. That's also one of the reasons why I began to, to really notice this topic.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's really interesting. So getting back to the book, did it take you, was it 3 years to get all the information or get it together?
Well, this book is kind of like a match go with the movie. And the movie started 4 years ago.
Right.
So it's back in 2019. Director Fan Lixun. So he, a friend of him, approached to him and saying, there's a blind person, a blind climber, who wants to climb the Mount Everest with me. And do you want to film it?
Wow.
So I mean, Fan was pretty shocked by it.
Yeah.
And he thought it's highly impossible, but he still flew to Chengdu to see Zhang Hong, and they talked for 1 hour. And at the end of the conversation, he asked Zhang Hong, so why do you want to to reach to really want to reach the summit of Mount Everest, the most inaccessible places in the world.
Yeah.
And he said something. He said, although I cannot see the world, I want the world to see me. And this is a phrase that really touched director Fan. And we can say it is like a chicken soup.
Yes.
For so, but at the moment, Fan was pretty much touched by it. And then he decided, he want to record the whole process of Zhang's climbing the mountain. Yeah.
So was he a celebrity before he did this, or how did he get? How did you get to know this?
No, not at all. Yeah,
right.
He became famous after
doing it.
Yeah, after doing it, and there are so many news reports about him. Also many articles from the medias.
And I mean,
worldwide, yeah.
It's not every day that you want to wake up and climb Mount Everest. I mean, you really have to train for it, for the air, for the breathing, just for the temperatures. So it must have been very interesting. And how long for him did it take him to do this and prepare for
the climbing? Yeah, very good question. Yeah, he so actually his climbing the mountain was not a whim.
Oh,
he in 2014. So I probably can start from his story. So Zhang Hong was born in a very desperate or very very remote places in Chongqing.
Right.
And he wasn't born blind, but his father and his uncles were both blind, and so he used to be a guide for them. Like they went from the small village to the town, and his father, like was singing for a living on the street.
Nice.
Yeah, he always like he's pretty much like familiar with the job of being a guide for them. Yeah, and but at the age of 20, he suddenly lost his sight. Yeah, so he kept on wanting to find a way out. He became kind of like a thick cocoon, I can say.
Yeah.
So he always wants to see the crack.
Right.
Yeah, and he has been looking for the way out for very, very long time, and he tried so many times for different things.
Right.
He even came to Shanghai
Oh, nice.
to work for more than 10 years.
Yeah.
More. Different jobs. He just wants to tear off the tag
Yes.
put on him, like
Yes.
blind person can only do massage.
Right.
Yeah, he really wants to to turn off this
Do something
social prejudice on him.
Yeah.
But finally he failed. No matter what kind of things he tried, he failed.
Yes.
Yeah, and then he back to hometown, and but he still didn't want to give it up.
Right.
I think still there's probably
I love that motivation.
yeah.
Yeah.
A wider world there,
Yeah.
and there should be a goal that's beyond doing massage at home.
Yeah.
So he went to Tibet to be a massage therapist
Right.
in a hospital.
Yeah.
I mean, by chance, like someone gave him this chance. And he, in 2014, he ran into like a mountaineering, Luoze.
Right.
So he's
Yeah,
very
yeah.
famous. He's probably the main character of the mountaineer team in 2008,
Yes.
who reached the Everest for the Olympic touch.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's pretty professional. And Zhang Hong asked him, like, is there any blind person in the world who ever reached the summit of Mount Everest?
Yeah.
And Luoze said, yes, there was one
Wow.
in America. But I think his name is Eric.
Yeah.
So, but Eric is professional. And he was trained from when he was a kid.
Right.
And his
Bit
family is
different.
really rich, and his dad and mom were both politicians or the diplomats. So
Nice.
they really got every right, every
Got
yeah.
it.
But Zhang Hong said, yes, if there were someone who ever reached, then he want to try to give it a try.
Yes.
But of course, at that moment, the Luoze thought he's crazy.
Yeah.
But he's not only blind, he's crazy
Right.
as well. But since then, Zhang Hong was pretty serious about this thing. And I think one of the reasons why he really, feel the passion for climbing is because he thought, like, the mountain, while he is climbing, he can feel that the nature is just. The nature is fair.
Right.
Yeah, no matter your gender, no matter your past,
Yes.
no matter your background, as long as you claim and make one step forward,
Yes.
yeah,
That's a good.
you will reach. You will be closer to the summit, and the summit is always there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it won't move. It's
That's
already
right.
there.
That's right.
And once you put your heart, put your strength into it,
Yeah.
you're closer to it. So he feel really comfortable. He feel like there's the crack finally,
Right.
appear in the share.
Yeah. Right. Wow.
Yeah, and then he really keep on training. And you ask me the training.
Yeah.
So because they're limited like income, so he adopted the most clumsiest method of training. Like he got up at 4 o'clock every morning.
Wow.
And carried like 30 kilograms barbell on back and just climbing the stairs, ups and downs and ups and downs, and so many times a day.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Wow.
And like twice just keep on doing that climb, the most clumsiest method.
That's
of
crazy.
doing that. That's crazy, yeah.
And the first time that you actually met him, what was that experience like?
Well, we first met in Shanghai in
Yeah.
a small bar, a cafe bar.
Right.
So after I decided to write this story, Zhang Hong and his wife, Xiaqun, just came to Shanghai for an event, for an activity there.
Yeah.
They, he's going to give the speech. So before the speech, we met in the cafe, and then I literally started my interview for the book that morning, and he talked a lot about his childhood, about his past, about the process of fighting for the goal. Yeah, that's pretty touching.
Did you feel his passion when you were talking to him? Like his energy?
Yeah, he's always very devoted.
Yes.
The devotion is really something that, like really, really something that really impressive.
Yes, yes.
And like if there's a goal, you're going to put your whole heart into it.
Yes.
And that's really something really touching. I mean, we are very utilitarian. Like we do the things only when we know it has rewards.
Yes, that's right.
Most of us.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you find that it is the people that who have the passion for something or somebody,
Yes.
and they do it no matter what.
Yes.
Even the whole world against them, they will do it. And it's exactly, it's the people who will get success in the end.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's something I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me too. It's having that passion and the drive, and you can tell when someone's unique and someone that really, really wants to do something. And then you got people there that will do it for money, and they have other reasons to drive them. But the ones that do it for the love and for the passion and for just they're the ones that I like.
Yeah.
In any sort of field. So yeah, I can see from what you've said already.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like he's a very driven sort of person. And
Pretty go-getter.
Yeah,
Go-getter,
yeah. And was the book based on the movie?
The movie based on the book.
Based on the book.
Yeah,
Right,
and you can see much more information from the book.
Right.
Yeah, but you can see the very, very beautiful scenery from the film.
Right, of course. But isn't it always the same? Like if the book is better than the movie?
Well, I think scenes and words are different.
Yes.
And you can feel the feeling from the words.
Yes.
It's hard. It's more challenging than I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, to really write the book, to write it well, is harder than I imagined before I started writing. Why? So we, like body-abled people, we use 5 senses to feel the world.
Yes.
Right. But for Zhang Hong, he, after he lost the sight, he can only feel the world without eyes. And eyes is is an organ that can receiving most information.
Yeah.
So I should really put myself into the shoes of him to feel his world.
Yeah.
And without seeing the world, how can you describe it? How can you depict it?
Exactly.
So my then boyfriend just lead me. Like we walked on the street with my eyes, covered with I closed my eyes, and just walked down the street.
Wow.
And I can, close your eyes. You can immediately feel the fear, the tension, with the cars, honking. You feel nervous.
Yeah.
Even one step forward is hard.
Yeah, you could run into anything,
it takes a lot of courage.
A lot of courage.
Yeah, so this is firstly, so this is something. This is for me it's challenging.
Yeah.
And second is emotions are hard to express by words. And human beings' emotions are like grief, the joy, the sadness, excitement, etc., etc.
Yes.
Especially in this story, the ups and downs of emotions.
Yeah.
When you lost your sight suddenly, one morning you woke up and you couldn't see the world at all.
Yes.
That kind of shocking, feelings. How you express it? And Zhang Hong just told me I couldn't see anything,
Yeah.
and I should use, like pages to describe the inner source and ups and downs in the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
he just say, yeah, I couldn't see anything.
Yeah.
And after you couldn't see anything, what's your reaction? And what's your reaction to other people when they rescue you,
Yes.
when they're having fun with you, playing jokes with you? And what is the mixed feelings of being on top of the world?
Yeah.
How you express that?
That's
It's hard. It's hard. Zhang Hong is saying, okay, I'm excited.
Yeah.
You should explain why.
Yeah.
Yeah, how to show it out.
Yeah. How to
So
write it down.
that's one the challenging.
Challenges.
And also the thirdly, about the language style. You cannot be very sad. I mean, this kind of story is it's very inspiring, right?
Yes.
But in the beginning, clearly it's not a happy story.
Right.
With all
Yeah,
these,
yeah.
so but you cannot really make it very sad. You cannot make it very
Get a balance. Right?
yeah frivolous. Should I say that?
Yeah.
Either. So you should, in Chinese is 哀而不伤，怨而不怒.
Right.
So it's sad but not hurt,
Right. Yeah.
resentful but not angry. Should I say that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So you should really reach that phase.
Yes.
And kind of like a person who have already crossed the mountains and waters and looks back his own footsteps
Right.
and tell his own stories to other people with calmly, peacefully, but touchingly.
Yes.
You need to make it touching.
Yeah.
So that's hard. So
very hard. Yeah.
these three challenges it's much more challenging than I thought before.
Yeah. You were talking about his feelings and struggling to put it on in words. How long did it take him to get up to the mountain? And then the emotion.
I don't know if you ever heard the saying that once you are climbing the mountain, it's not that hard because you have got to go there.
Right.
The hardest thing is you reach the summit and then you go back.
Right.
That process is hard because you feel happy and then you will just say, all right, like everything is done.
They gotta get down.
That's the moment, yeah. That's the moment. So, but at that moment, when he reached the summit, he actually didn't really have a pretty much strong feeling because he couldn't see.
Yeah, right.
And only other, the guide,
Could tell.
yeah, told him that, we reached it, we made it.
Right.
So he tried to really, be calm and very, try to restrain his feelings.
Yes.
Because he clearly knew that this is just half. This is just half of the way. We still got half, even harder way to go.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's something you should really control yourself.
Yeah.
Self-controlling.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And then once the book come out, what was the feedback like?
Well, it surprised me that we got second publication. The publisher just asked me to if there anything you need to revise because we already sold out, so we need to republish.
That's
I think
amazing.
the second publication is already on the way.
Is it available in English?
Well, the movie is definitely available in English.
Yeah.
The book I think now is only Chinese version.
Okay.
Yeah. So what really make me feel touching is So there's another blind person, like he's also lost his sight, by accident. So he has been working on empowering people with disabilities in China. He's doing a very good job, and he is also very close to Zhang Hong. After he read the book, he asked who wrote this, and then we talked a lot, and he was like, I was so touching, my assistant, my agent to read this book for me.
Yeah.
And I literally cried many times, and I can really relate to it.
Yes.
Yeah, so many episodes I can really relate to it. Yeah, that's something I feel like
That's
so
amazing.
warm. Yeah, so warm, because probably, if you read this book, probably you cannot really relate to some of the episodes.
Yes.
But for a person, for the people who have the similar experience,
Yeah, I can relate
it's
to it.
gonna really touch you. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And can you give us just a little bit of what's to come for the second book?
Oh, second one. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
This one is about business. It's more, it's a business topic. It's like how to run business, or it's mainly for companies, and but this is a very main trend for of doing business today. You need to get the digitalization transformation.
It's all changing.
Yeah, so changing. I'm
ever-changing.
I'm really into it, because I used to cover politics. I used to interview politicians. I feel like these all, the topics that I focused on before were all very grande
Right.
in Spanish. Yeah, but now I feel like I'm very into, go details in a certain area.
Yeah, right.
And you got the logics of how to do business. You got
It's
amazing.
It's very interesting you
Yeah.
say about business, because obviously here in Shanghai we've had the lockdown for nearly 12 months, and then the second lockdown for Shanghai 2022. So there's for businesses it was super tough. So let's talk about your journalism now. I mean, you traveled the world meeting some of the biggest politicians, and you could call them celebrities as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is this coming after you're being graduated? Tell us about how all this come about as well, because it seems like you were just in the right place at the right time.
Yeah. Oh wow. The reason why I became a journalist, because I always wanted to see the wider world.
Yeah.
I was born in a plains in northern China, where basically you barely can see any mountains or water.
What province?
Hebei province.
Hebei,
Yeah,
right.
it's pretty much like a plateau. You couldn't really see any rocks or water, and
What was it like growing up there in Hebei?
I even don't have any playmate when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Only my elder brother.
Right.
The most memorable about my childhood is my elder brother always took me to chase the horizon.
Right.
It seems like the horizon is always there. For us, it's mysterious and endless boundary.
Yeah.
And so we run into it often.
Right.
But no matter how hard we tried, it seems like sometimes it's within reach, but we never can reach it.
Right.
So at that moment, this is what's like being living. this is my feelings of living in the plane.
Right.
The feeling like you can always see the boundary,
Yes.
and it gives you the hope, to chase it, and it indicates that there's a wider world there outside the places where you lived.
Yeah.
So from that time, I told myself, one day I must get out of here, and reach to the wider world. And so in this case, my elder brother probably is my mentor in the first place. Yeah. So
Was there pressure for you to be like really good at school, to move, to be able to get a scholarship or to get?
that's probably the only way.
Yeah.
For many kids, that's probably the only way.
Yeah, babe.
Yeah. So
Is it
from
sti-
the
Is it still the case now?
well, now there are probably more options or alternatives. Yeah.
Yeah.
But back in 90s,
Yeah.
yeah, that was definitely one of the main way to go out
Yeah.
to get out of where you lived.
And you were quite good at school?
Yeah. I'm safe to say so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You had a drive and a passion to do really good.
if I made my grade pretty high, then I can. That's probably the only way for me to go further to the bigger places. Went to the best school in that area,
Yeah.
and then again go further to the city, to the bigger city again to study, to attend my like high school, primary school, high school. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you said before that you went to England for your university?
No, so it's after I graduate, after I got my master degree. So I worked as a journalist for a few years,
Right.
and then I got the British government scholarship.
Right.
So I got the chance to go to the UK to do my second master.
What was that experience like going to England for the first time?
Oh, in the UK, because like I went there in 2020,
Yeah.
so during the COVID.
COVID. Oh dear.
So I wore protective suits.
Right.
So I transferred the flight in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
and I wore like protective a dressing suit, and it was just unsurreal.
Because it was just as bad over in England, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, there was periods of time the situation was pretty much severe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Cambridge,
Oh yeah.
and there was a lockdown there,
Right.
and I literally couldn't go anywhere and just stayed on campus. Yeah.
So what's the difference in education and the way that they teach from Cambridge to like your schooling in China? What are the differences there?
Well, I think the education in the UK, well, I mean, just according to my personal experience, I did very good job in school. Like in the UK, it's university.
Yeah.
I got the first degree, which is really competitive.
Yes.
So probably only, I don't know, like less than 10% students can finally get
Yes.
first degree. Well, to me, this is a very, very refreshing experience because it really changed the way of my thinking, especially about especially the critical thinking. So I've done like more than 10 essays.
Wow.
Yeah, in 1 year. And first, like the first semester, my essays, I can just go like 60 something. Yeah, just a little bit higher than 60.
Yeah.
I mean the score. But later on in the second semester, I asked my like supervisor, I asked the students, especially the previous students, and I read their papers, and I got the feeling that I really need to use the logic and critical thinking to read narrative the way I think
Right.
and write. Yeah, to if you want to come up with the idea or with the opinion or with a point, then you need to use other evidence or points to prove it.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is something I really did. Yeah.
Very good. Coming back, was it always the goal to come back and find a job in journalism?
No, I was a journalist
Right.
before I went to the UK.
Right.
And after I come back, I changed my job. I transferred to business arena.
Got it.
Yeah. So now my work is more relevant to business.
Business, right.
Yeah.
Hence why you got the new book now coming out about business.
Yeah.
So go back then to your journalism, and I see the list of people that you've met and you've interviewed, and the list just goes on, and you've traveled the world. Can you talk about some of the highlights that you've got? Because I've written down like
Really?
the Qatar king to Myanmar, the Syrian and Turkish border.
You did your homework.
Yeah, and I remember talking to you also about you visited Australia as well, or one of the government.
Oh yeah, they
come to
they
China?
came for the national visit or something. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah, I didn't go to. I hadn't went to.
You haven't been to
go
Australia
Yeah.
yet.
Yet, yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Good thing. So, how did this come about then? Journalism, like if you're doing business now, was that something that you always wanted to get into, or you just sort of fell into that job?
Well, no, this is something I really want to do.
Yeah.
So before I interviewed politicians from all over the world, and the topic is mainly about politicians.
Give some examples.
Well, like I interviewed the former president of Afghanistan.
Yeah.
I mean, say, yeah. So Kazan. So it's all about how can Afghanistan protect itself after like the American troops withdraw.
Yeah.
I mean, all topics that are relevant to the world, the peace world, the development. So it's very, very grandy. Very, very grandy.
How are you preparing for an interview like that? But I mean, do you feel pressure, like trying to come up with the right questions, and then do you have people on their party going, "Oh, you can't ask that question, you can't ask that question," or do you know already what you can and can't say?
Well,
And especially from you coming from China as well, being like a communist party, so I guess they don't want to give out too much information. But yeah, tell us, like, are there people telling you can and can't say this?
not really.
No?
I mean, I think just could I just worked as a journalist for several years.
Yes.
So according to my limited experience, I think I'm happy with my work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like in saying, like, were they just questions that your company wanted to ask, or were they coming in saying, "Oh no, you can't ask this"?
I didn't really experience this.
They never did that.
I didn't really experience this.
Okay, that's interesting. So you said you're the Afghanistan king, former president.
Former president. Or like former chilling president. Ambassadors to China.
Yes.
Like many ambassadors to China. Yeah, I somehow initiate a channel, you can say, that is how they world politicians see the views from the world, from the views from the politicians all over the world, kind of like that.
Right.
Yeah. So under that channel, I approached many politicians and we talked about different topics in many countries.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And then I remember you telling me about the time that you went to Africa.
Yeah,
Tell us
Africa.
about this one.
Well, in Africa, it's about a project that I went to Africa to do a story. It's about the China's foreign aid to help the elimination of malaria.
Right.
So China become now is like a donate giver.
Right.
So before we accepted the donation or the foreign aid, but now we are positively or actively, take part in the foreign aid worldwide. To give donations, to give our experience and money out. Yeah. So this project is about we try to see if our experience in tackling malaria in last 70s, 80s,
Yeah.
if this experience works in in Africa. So this is basically the project about. So I went to the village in Tanzania and living with the people with malaria.
Wow.
And we want to see if this works, if
Yeah.
this project works, and if there is anything, if there is anything different using Chinese experience without comparing with compare with the place that hadn't adopted Chinese experience, Chinese
Wow.
methods.
That's
Well, the
amazing.
result is pretty encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I saw some pictures of you on the Syrian and Turkish border.
Yeah, the Syrian-Turkish border. So on my way back from Africa, I always wanted to to do a story about Syrian refugees. Not only about Syrian refugees, but about, like I said earlier, broken people,
Yeah.
broken heart. I'm really obsessed with the so-called broken people, weird places.
Well, you were saying, I read on your WeChat saying that you were at gunpoint when you were going past there. Was that true?
Yeah. So it's meters, just like 10 meters or 20 meters away from the wall along the border.
Yeah.
So I think there were just someone to hold the held the gun.
Yeah.
Well, that's their job.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Yeah. So back to the story. So on my way back from Africa, I thought this is a chance or opportunity for me to go to the border, along Turkey and Syria. So I always wanted to do this kind of story that is relevant to refugees, not only Syrian refugees, but only just people, just broken people who go through conflicts, go through hard times. Before I went to Şanlıurfa, one of the states in Turkey. Well, this state is actually pretty close to Syria, and it accepted the most Syrian refugees.
Wow.
Yeah, in Turkey. So I contacted a friend in the Turkish embassy. Well, it's not really a friend. It's someone we cooperated before. When I was a journalist, I interviewed Turkish ambassador.
Wow.
So that's why we got this connection. And I asked him, just by luck, I asked him if you know anybody that can help me with the interview if I go to the camp, because I really need the permission.
Yes.
Like a foreign journalist cannot just go directly to that the very sensitive area. And he said yes, the ambassador is from that state, and the ambassador helped me with the connection with the governor. And that's how how I finally made it and to enter the camp. And so on my way back from Africa, I went to Dubai. And then from Dubai I went to Istanbul, and from Istanbul I changed the flight to Şanlıurfa, and from Şanlıurfa I drove the car to the border. That's crazy. That's still crazy. And later I heard that place is actually the place where the terrorist group, what's the name, used to live.
Oh yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, and still kind of something that I probably don't dare to do again.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was pretty exciting. So that's how that's basically how I went to Syrian refugee camp.
Was it difficult to get any of these interviews to get there? Like you said, that was very hard to get there.
Well, usually they came to China.
Oh right.
And
Got it.
then I'll just propose for that interview.
Right.
Or but it's hard to, if you really go to a certain country, to approach to locals. That's hard because sometimes it's because of language, and sometimes it's because the dangerous situations. Yeah. For example, like in Turkey, after I entering the camp, so some people do not really speak English. They cannot even speak Turkish.
Yeah.
they speak Syrian, they speak Arabic, so it's hard for me to understand them. So
So do you have a translator, or how does that work?
yeah, there was somebody who can speak not really good English, but but still can translate for me. I lived in the camp for a couple of days, and interviewed people. Yeah, just different kinds of people.
Yeah.
Some people are, well, I went there with a question I'm really curious about, because back in that time, 2018, right? Yeah, so the Syrian Assad government is, had upper hand in the war. So it's kind of clear, relatively clear that that the war, seems like the war will end sooner or later. Yeah. So I'm really curious about whether like 4 billion refugees will stay here, or will go further to European countries, like the rich people always do, or they will go back to Syria to take part in the reconstruction of the nation. And if they go back, then what kind of result will they face? Like, they escaped from the land and then they came back.
It's a lot of people.
Yeah, it's a lot of scenarios.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of people. 4 billion. So I'm really curious. I was really curious. I'm curious about how to. This is an issue. This is a issue that like the United Nations should consider. Should really think about it. Should the international world should do. So yeah, with that question in mind, I interview a lot of people in the camp and outside the camp, because 90% of refugees works outside the camp. Only 10%, like the relatively like people that is with old age or kids that cannot move further, they stayed in the camp. The people who have the capacity to work, who are capable of working in the big cities to do different kinds of work. So I went to Shanghai, the state that that built the camps along the border, but also I went to Istanbul. That's the biggest city. It's the biggest city, right? Yeah, in Turkey. So it offers many opportunities for working. So I saw a lot of different people. So I asked this question, and also to make the story more objective. Yes. So I should not only listen to the voice from the refugees. Of course, like I have the sympathy, I must admit that in the first place I have the sympathy for these broken people, but I must listen to Turkish locals as well, and also need to listen to the local NGOs or international organizations like UNHCR. I also talked with the director of UNHCR later, and also interview the governor, interview the director, under Erdogan, who is in charge of the refugees issues in Turkey.
So when you're interviewing these types of people, I mean, it can be very political and religious. Religion comes into it as well, and you have your opinion as well. Is it difficult for you to do an interview with that type of person where you may have some different feelings about what this person's doing, but you have to interview them for your job?
No, it's never happened. I mean, the reason I wanted to do this story is because I'm curious. I'm really curious. So with that in mind, I always eager to listen to different opinions.
Yes.
It's kind of like a picture. You really need to complete it.
So right.
Your job is to complete it.
Yeah.
You cannot just I just take the red color.
Yeah,
I don't want the yellow color. No. You must take whatever. Well, you must take as much as you can. Yeah.
Totally
just take the voices from different kinds of group. I even the Chinese who worked there, and he taught Syrian case. He was a teacher there, and he tried to initiate a project and with the aim to make Syrian case to study, like to receive normal education in Turkey. So it's like all kinds of voices from all directions.
Yeah.
And we will complete the painting.
Right.
But I mean, what I learned from the takeaway, the biggest takeaway from like covering news or doing stories worldwide is the biggest takeaway is there is never ever, a completed picture.
Got it.
Never.
Yeah.
Because the world is so big.
Yeah.
And there's various of voices, and you can never you can never get the more voices you get, the closer like the climbing the mountain, I mean, the closer you are to the truth.
Yeah, that's right.
But you can never reach the truth. You can never accept it. You can never get the truth. Yeah.
Did you interview Putin?
Well, I didn't. Well, I tried, but I didn't make it to interview Putin. But I interviewed his advisor.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like very close. His group.
Right.
Yeah.
What was that like?
So it was in Putin's hometown.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's, what's that? St. Petersburg.
Yeah. Right.
So we went there for international meeting there. So Putin was having meeting with Macron. So they're on the stage. So after that, I was planning to like interview him, because at that time when I was in St. Petersburg, Trump just took office.
Oh, right.
It was interesting timing.
Yeah.
It was really interesting timing.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things I want to know. But I think like Putin's schedule is pretty tight, and he was on his way back to Moscow. So I interviewed his aide. He's very, very, very close friends since he was a kid.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also interviewed his advisor for economies. Yeah. So that's also interesting. I mean,
amazing interviews. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an interview that stands out? If you want to see my experience as a journalist, go and see this one.
Cambodian jail.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, that jail used to, that's all about story, about history. So that jail used to have a lot of prisoners there.
I went to the killing field there.
You went there?
I've been there twice now. And I'll never go back there again. It's just so...
I can even see the blood, like, after 30 years.
Yeah.
Okay, you can even see.
They're still digging up the holes.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No, now I don't know, but I mean, I still can see the blood on the floor.
Oh.
Yeah. So I interviewed the two elderly who survived.
Wow.
Yeah. He literally sat in the yard of that jail, of that previous jail.
Yeah, right.
He's selling book. The book, the autobiography, of course, about the past, that experience. And I talked with him and asked him, can you forget? And can people forget? And the reason I went there to do this story is because I'm really curious about what kind of changes, or what's the scars are there.
Yeah.
Right. And how can people forget? And what can this in fact impact the development society? With suddenly, like overnight, such a huge number of people being I mean, that's really and although I interviewed 3 generations, the generation who went through and survived, and the younger generation who are their case, and also the 3rd generation who is relatively Western and modern. Yeah. So
they're very lucky.
You can say so.
They've still got a lot to work on about Cambodia. I mean, it's better than it was. I was there.
You've been there.
I was there in 2008,
Mm-hmm.
and then again in 2018.
Mm-hmm.
I could see a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
Huge difference, like 10 year gap. But still, there's a lot to fix up. And, but it seems like a lot of the American businesses are now starting to try and go over there and make it better, which is good.
Yeah, that's what I saw there. With the foreign aid, with the it's kind of like the sad is raising up. You can see the prosperous buildings all.
That whole history of the Cambodia is so interesting for me. But
yeah.
they were fighting wars against each other.
Yeah.
And they were fighting wars with
yeah.
But they were also fighting Thailand and Vietnam. Yeah, it's just crazy.
I went to Thailand, Myanmar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Myanmar is also very interesting. Well, Thailand is the tourism place, but Myanmar is I'm pretty into Myanmar.
Yeah.
It's according to the
people tell me that I need to go there.
Oh yeah.
It's a place to go.
Yeah, I went to Aung San Suu Kyi's house, like.
Oh nice.
He was like house arrest before.
Oh.
So it was by the lake, so I went there.
What's the future now for you? Like, where are we going from here? You got a new book coming out that you're working on, but where do you see yourself going after this new book?
So I think that those things all related to each other.
Do you think you'll go back to journalism?
Was one of the options for me. One of the alternatives. But if I went back to like being journalist, I probably will focus on one certain area that we'll cover and we'll dig deeper into it.
Yeah.
But I'm still very, very into exploring the world, and still very, very much passionate about like helping the people with disabilities or like broken. I don't know how to define broken, but broken is something that you'll see. The thing is, I want to really be really do something to make the world more diverse, like for people with disability or people who living in a refugee camp or people who who is with disease in Africa. They seem probably we can put weird there to describe them, but they are all part of the world and they are part of the diverse world. So we really need to make people accept the diversity and really treat them treat the people with these people as normal, as the uniqueness, as unique. That's something I really into doing in the future. Still continue, and actually I'm also leading the project of a like empowering the disabled here.
Right. In China, that's great.
Oh yeah, in China, yeah.
That's great.
I'm planning and still I'm working on it with my friends.
Great.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Love hearing that.
Yeah.
Helping people, that's amazing.
Yeah, that's like I said, after Zhang Hong story, I further confirmed that we really need to, I always I have been trying to find a perfect answer for life, and I once thought there should be one perfect answer.
Yes.
But after traveling around, after talking with people from different backgrounds that having different stories, I finally realized, I came to the conclusion that there is no perfect answer for life. Well, the only answer is knowing the true face of life, but still loving it.
It's an interesting.
And find the thing that you are really, really passionate about.
Yeah.
And really, that you find the things that you're eager to sacrifice for it.
Yeah.
For it, even sacrifice your life, no matter what you got from it. I mean, this probably is so far the answer I find, and so far the takeaway from the my journey of being a journalist.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. Like, what is success to you? Like,
I mean, just as I said, my my understanding of life is similar with my understanding with my understanding of success
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So success is not,
Money.
well, it's definitely not money. It's definitely not the social standards. It's about success is about your attitude,
Yeah.
and it's about your finding. It's about whether at the end of the day you find your passion
Yes.
and you find something or somebody that you are really eager to sacrifice your life for
Yeah. Yeah.
without thinking of the rewards. Yeah. And that kind of life is attracting.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Put your heart into something and go for it and fight for it. I don't know if you have watched the movie, which is really popular during Chinese festival, the YOLO, the movie YOLO. You only live once.
Right.
So you probably cannot, win the game.
Yeah.
You probably cannot beat others, no matter how hard you try. But you gotta go, and you put all your heart and strength and energy into it, and then you win. I mean,
Yeah. Go for it.
yeah, go for it. Just go for it.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's the biggest takeaway.
Great.
Yeah.
Motivation. Great. So I want to ask now, what is the best advice you've been given?
Don't take, so serious, or so personally, about what other people think about you
Right.
and say about you.
Yes.
But just even the whole world against you, just find the thing. Oh, it's hard. It's really hard to find
Very
the
hard.
thing,
Yeah.
but it's really worthy. It's really worthy trying your best to find it,
Yes.
and then you can say this is a life worth living.
Yes.
Well, this is still something I'm seeking for. I'm still seeking for, I'm always trying to find where my passion is. It's singing, it's dancing,
Yeah.
it's writing, it's traveling, it's talking with the people from different cultural background. Every single day in the morning or in the deep night, I still asking myself this question.
Well, that's good part.
Really, literally every single day I ask this question.
Yeah.
What is really making me excited?
Yes.
What really wake me up every day? Not alarm clock, definitely. It's
Yeah.
really something.
Okay.
Can
I gotta
give
do
you
this,
the
this,
motivation.
and this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do
yeah,
all this,
yeah,
this,
yeah. There was a time I'm really, really, really crazy about playing the piano and sing while playing the old songs.
Yeah.
So in the deep night, I still stayed awake.
Wow.
I feel all right, yeah, I'm going to finish because the melody is so,
Gotta
the
finish.
lyrics, the melody is so beautiful
Yes.
that I really want to enjoy the moment, sing and playing. That really makes me feel I'm on top of the mountain.
Yeah.
So I'm really eager to find more this kind of things. And then you too. I mean, you are interviewing the people. This is really the thing, the band,
Yeah.
and interviewing weird people
Yeah.
from different places. It's also your passion, and
Yeah,
so
definitely.
that's basically why I want to talk with you,
Yeah.
because I think we are kind of in on the same page, or
Definitely.
have the same
Love the motivation and the drive and just getting in there, doing
Yeah.
something that you like.
definitely
I love that. It's
Mhm.
very, very good.
YOLO.
YOLO. I will have to
YOLO.
definitely watch that now. And that's so true.
definitely.
You only live once.
Mhm.
And who's your greatest inspiration/hero and why?
So if you ask me my heroes, I can give you a long list, with many, many big names, but I would rather put my brother here because he was the only one who encouraged me to pursue, to chase the horizon, and he kind of plant the seed in my heart, and still, till today, he still encourages me to do things or encouraged me to go beyond the comfort zone, and to explore the wide world.
Yes.
And also because he later became, sick. So that's part of the reasons why I began to really pay attention to broken people and really want to do something to help with the people with disabilities, or do something to make a difference.
That's amazing.
For a certain group of people.
Really, really
So
cool.
once he's there, I know that I cannot stop searching for the meaning, that I cannot stop making a difference. So I put my brother's name there.
That's a great way to finish it off.
Yeah.
Esther,
Thank you very much.
amazing talent.
Yeah.
I love how you've got that drive and passion, and something that you want to do, you do it to the best of your ability.
就time being,
that's something
you
that
too.
something that I really like in you. Good luck with the second book coming out. Let us know. We'll promote it.
Yeah.
And
sure.
all the best for the future.
Thank you.
All
Thank
right.
you. I love your program as well.
Hi, I'm Tony Fair, founder of Victorian Grooming Company. Is your beard feeling dry or the skin underneath itchy? Maybe you'd rather soften and tame your beard instead. Our classic collection of beard oils, balms, and soaps will leave your beard looking, feeling, and smelling amazing. And if you prefer shaving, our pre-shave oils and shave soaps will give you a smooth and razor burn-free shave. Handmade in Edmonton with natural ingredients, visit victoriangrooming.com.